Hello everyone, and welcome back to Niche, the Rise of Heroes, and we are here with Carno and Hayden and the rest of our tribe who are currently settling in on this killer island. So far, so good. Things have been going pretty well. We haven't had too many killer bearyena attacks, although I should be careful not to jinx it, and we actually have two friendly bearyenas hanging out with us right now. We've also been trying to breed Ghost and Clifford here in hopes of possibly passing on the ram horns that, or not the ram horns, excuse me, the antlers that Ghost has to a line that may eventually work its way into the leader's line. And the reason for that is that the tribe that, or the creature that this tribe was kind of founded after, the tribe kind of, he's kind of the legend of the tribe, was our nicheling Roku, who had the ram horns. He was all white with black a mane, and he had those he had the antlers. And so we're trying to breed those back into the family, because if a tribe is going to follow in the legacy of a leader, then it makes sense that they would kind of be trying to prize the traits that he had, and see that perhaps as a sign of prosperity, a sign of strength. After all, those traits served him well. Why wouldn't it serve the rest of the tribe well? But also our healer line here, of which Ghost is also a part, has been known for its ram horns, and so we're kind of seeing a little bit of a different, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a divergence here between the strength-based leaders and the healing-based leaders, like perhaps Vernon. Vernon has taken more of an interest in Jade and the healing line over here, and may end up perhaps mingling in with them. So we've got a lot of interesting things happening here, but I think it is about time to start new days, so let's go ahead and do that now. And okay, so far so good. We've got, who's sick? Oh no! Oh, I was hoping this wouldn't happen. Oh man. There has been a risk of illness with Azure and Kuro, and unfortunately it looks like their first baby has indeed fallen ill. So let's go ahead. Oh yeah, and it was Tay's last day too, and so this is going to be Tavi's last day. But at least she got to spend it in the company of her sister and her sister's family. So we'll go ahead and let these guys gather up the food real fast, though, before the bunnies steal all of it. Okay, let's let Ivana gather up this... where? Oh, right there. I think not. Oh my goodness. Well, at least we managed to get quite a lot of bunny meat there, but they did steal a lot of our food, too. Maybe we'll let Kuro step over here. Oh, the bunnies have stolen from it, it looks like. And then... oh, I'll bring him back here for the moment. And then on... well... which... okay, do either of them have... no, okay. We'll just have to risk it. Kuro is pretty close, and so I think we'll take that chance. And let's make sure... yeah, okay, Ivana gathered, and then we'll let Rota be the one to gather up these poison berries on his last turn here, so that we can continue trying to perhaps unlock that... the potential, so we continue trying to unlock the poison body, and so that his last day can serve as a sacrifice to the tribe. Now, it's also Ghost's last day, but let's take a look at her little baby who, yes! Fortunately, he did get the ram horns. Now, they are secondary, they are inactive, but at least he has them, so that's a very, very good thing. Now, let's bring Ghost over here, and I'll go ahead and bring Clifford over here too, and we'll breed them. And I feel like Ghost out of everyone would be one to insist the tradition be maintained. She would take honor in gathering up the poison berries as part of her last day, but not before she does end up bringing another baby into the tribe. And let's go ahead and we'll rename Vankir, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and let's name him, what would be a good name for him? I think I'm gonna actually name him Malachite, which is a green gem. Now, he's got mostly red fur, but he has this kind of almost moss-colored pattern It's mostly brown, but it definitely has a hint of green in there, and so I feel like that name does fit him. So let's see too, I think Puka might want to make his way down here, and perhaps he can start gathering up some of these coconuts. He could even shake the tree, although it doesn't look like there were any more. Now, he will be safe in this nest. He shouldn't be able to get bonked in the head with them, but he should be able to gather up some of them there. Now, we also have little Zelda is grown up enough to leave the nest, so we'll go ahead and move her out, and then we'll put Willow back in the nest, and maybe Raana can stalk that bunny a little bit. Unfortunately, she didn't actually manage to chase it down, though. Maybe, oh yeah, Axel can catch it. Oh, and there's our friendly bearyena, too. Let's see if we can enlist the help of Tira to make sure we can pick up this bunny meat, and we can hang out next to our friendly bearyena, who's probably trying to help them hunt. Now, I think Jade and Vernon are going to go ahead and start a family, too. We'll go ahead and breed them. We have plenty of food, and so we'll let her step into this nest here, and Vernon can come a little closer. Now, he did pledge to make sure that he guards the healing plant that Ghost is supposed to be guarding, because, well, she's away and Kuro is away. We want to make sure no one's going to steal from it. But he will be as close to his mate as he possibly can, and these two should be fine. There's not really any chance of them getting a sick baby from this, so that should be good. We also have Rochiu, who is almost on his last day. Maybe he can catch this bunny. Oh, not quite, unfortunately. I was hoping he might be able to snag it before his time is up. And Rain can hang out near this bearyena and just spend some time with him. Now, yes, Scorch will be growing up on the next turn, so that's when we can start breeding these guys to see if we can have any, of the double-winged babies, and I definitely want to see if we can start a cardinal line with these guys, because I think that'll be something that'd be really, really good if we could have a winged line that might be able to swoop in from above and attack their enemies. Speaking of swooping in from above, unfortunately not quite enough to take out that bunny, but we got close at least. Now, the interesting thing about Anara is that she actually did get the cracker jaw, and so maybe she'll end up hanging out over by this tree here, maybe with Rome, who unfortunately is grieving the loss of his friend as well. She recently passed away, and I don't think we can see her in the family tree. Yeah, I don't see her. She didn't have any children, so I don't think we'll be able to see her, but perhaps Anara, who, let's maybe change her name, and you know what, I think we're going to actually call her Acorn, because she rather does resemble a little acorn. She's got that brown fur, and with that being her likely task, I think that's a pretty fitting name. So, meanwhile, we can let Midas also continue to attack this Dodomingo. He's not too happy with it, and he's actually doing a pretty good job when it comes to taking it out. Now, it's not Kosei's last day yet. She was substantially younger than her mate, who unfortunately just has passed away, but not before she had one last baby with him, and that's little Kirnu. Look at his faint little stripes. They're so subtle. I really love that. If we turn him around, you can see him more on his back, and he actually has the swimming tail too on both slots. Is that something that any of our other creatures have? I don't think it probably is. Oh, actually, yeah, some of our creatures do have it. I didn't even realize that was still in the family. Wow. But with that in mind, maybe we'll give him a little bit of a swimming type name, because he certainly does seem like a little swimmer in many ways. Maybe, what'd be a good name for him? Well, what is the rest of his family named after? I think they're kind of our nature family. So we have Blossom and Pine and Spruce and Meadow here. And then Kirnu, maybe we'll call him, what would be a good name for him that would kind of fit in with that? I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that's a little bit fiery, a little bit naturey. What would fit in with that? Maybe you guys can name him. We'll give you the chance to name him. What do you think would be a good name specifically for Kirnu? Because I'm not sure we have one that would quite fit with the rest of the family here. Oh, let's also see if Byron, or maybe, well, Now, it's Tavi's last day, so we'll have to have Byron just content himself with scooping up these berries and then going to join his mate here. We'll bring little Fiery down here, and let's look at Isisra. Okay, so she doesn't have the cracker jaw on both either like we were hoping. So far, only Byron has that. And these guys, they do have the chance of having sick babies, but we'll go ahead and still breed them one more time, and then Tavi can destroy that other nest. So let's let Byron continue to gather up some of these acorns too, and then for little Isisra, I think we'll name her... I'm gonna go ahead and we'll name her Lilith. That's a name that I think could be pretty, I don't know, it just seems like it fits her. And so we have Lilith, we have Fiery, and we have Byron, and then we'll see who Tavi's last baby is going to be. Oh man, it's hard to believe we're finally bidding farewell to the twins. They've been, or I guess they weren't quite twins, but they almost could have been twins. Our sisters, who were pretty much as close as twins. They've been with us for so long, so it's amazing to think that we're finally actually saying goodbye. And there went that bunny. Unfortunately, Raana was a little too slow to track it down. But let's go ahead, and I think we will bid farewell. Well, actually, Tavi's over there, and Ghost is over here, and I'm not sure. Well, yeah, okay, we can say farewell to them like this, because it is both of their last days. And so let's give them a fitting send-off here. And there they go. Oh, well, at least nothing terrible seems to have happened. No major dangers. Oh my goodness. Rose, yeah, why don't you finish off that bunny there? And we'll let Lilia end up gathering up those berries. And then, oh man, oh, twins too. Okay, we'll have to take a look at them in a moment. But first of all, let's make sure that everybody's gathering from the berry bushes and that no bunnies are stealing from them. Maybe we can bring Rain up here. Her bearyena friend, I think, has... Oh, yeah, he headed down to the shore, actually. Actually, he's killed a bunny. And maybe Rochiu can be the one on his last day to come gather that up, because it is in a rather dangerous place. But let's take a look at Clifford and Ghost's babies here. So we have Larice. Oh, okay. So Larice has the antlers as well. And she and Malachite actually are genetically compatible. So I know they are siblings, but we do have to pass on the genes. And so sometimes that gets a little bit weird. Let's see if Puka can come over and help gather up some of the berries over here. Well, Clifford is preoccupied watching over his babies. But in order to pass on that legacy of the leader, perhaps we might want to consider that. I think we'll go ahead and we'll name her... What would be a good name for her? I think we'll name her... I'm going to name her Bog. It's perhaps not a very elegant name, but she kind of does have that patchy, mossy, a little bit brownish kind of pattern that you might think of a bog. And so we have Malachite and Bog who may end up eventually trying to pass on those antlers. And then we have Neuro here, who has C and B immunity. He does not have the antlers, but he does have the ram horns. And so he might at some point be able to try and pass those on. Perhaps... Oh no, Tanu Duke here is sick as well. I was gonna say, oh, these guys just are not having very good luck here. Let's see if we can breed them together. And then I think I'll have Kuro step over here and try and gather up some of these berries. Hopefully he won't get sick due to his son here. But let's go ahead real fast before we jump over there, and we'll name Neuro as well. Actually, honestly, I kind of like his name. I think we're going to keep his name there. That's not a very common one. It's not one we've seen an awful lot, and I think we'll keep it. Tanu Duke here does not have the cracker jaw, unfortunately, nor does he have the bearyena snout, and he is also sick. And so perhaps for him, his sister is Acorn. Maybe we'll go ahead. I actually kind of like the idea of sticking with that theme for this family, so maybe we'll name him Walnut, and kind of name them after some of the tree nuts that we have. Well, I guess we don't have all of them in the game, but I think we'll kind of stick with that theme. So let's see if we can gather up that root, and then there's another root we can get with Glade, who's basically the acting leader at this point, although he really hasn't had much of a situation where he's needed to lead. Oh, and there's that wanderer that's been lingering around, Nuvan. He's still here, it looks like, so we'll have to keep a close eye on our food supply, and it does look like maybe he snatched the healing fruit over here away from Midas, who was a little distracted fighting that Dodomingo. Can you blame him, though? I think he's a very adventurous soul, and with not much else to fight, he's making do with what he can. Even though he's not all that strong of a creature, he's definitely got a fiery temper to make up for it. Now, Scorch is probably going to end up breeding with Yavanna and Tulip to try and pass on those wings, and so we'll let them do so here. And we'll try and see if we can have a baby there. We have to be careful because our food supply is waning, and so we do need to be a little bit cautious, but I don't think it's going to go down too much, and we do have a lot of creatures who are probably going to pass away pretty soon, so I don't think we need to be excessively worried about it. Let's see if Zelda can maybe step over this way towards the root over here. And then maybe we'll actually bring Tira down here because I do see a shell that she can pick up. And then Axel can come back this way and we can go ahead and breed him and Willow again. There's a Dodomingo. I wonder if we can actually take it out. Nope, but Raana will give it her best shot. And we have little Lara here who has, again, the signature of the line of the leader, the Digging Paw and Bearyena Claw, but not quite the strength that her sister Zelda has. So she doesn't have the Bearyena snout, she just has the big nose, which does give her a lot of smelling at least. So perhaps we'll go ahead and... what will be a good name for her? I think I'm going to name her Asana. And we'll go ahead and use that name for her. And then I think we'll wait for this nest to clear out before we end up putting Willow back in the nest there. We won't have her make another one. We can let them take their time. So we also have Coco here, who unfortunately does not have the ram horns in her genes at all, but she actually has nimble fingers and a digging paw, so that's kind of good. She definitely could be a gatherer, and so let's see. What would be a good name for her? So many babies, we have to keep up with naming all of them. I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll name her Angel, because she seems like she would be a pretty sweet little creature who's not really into getting into trouble or anything. She just she just tends to be kind of the sweet one who doesn't cause a lot of trouble, and she maybe is a little bit shy as well. But we will keep breeding these two in a little bit more rapidly. I think that we're going to be breeding Willow and Axel, because I definitely want to see if we can pass on those ram horns and keep those in the family, and we probably will actually be able to put them in the mutation menu soon. In fact, we should see. Yes, we can. Okay. So what is there anything else we want to address with Vernon here? I don't think... I like having the big nose for our healers. I think it makes sense because it would enable them to sniff out these healing fruits at a distance. And I think we'll go ahead and put those ram horns in there because that was kind of a signature of them, as was the mask. And so I think I'll put that in his other slot here. We'll try and keep that in the family. Now, Jade does not have the mask, unfortunately. Yeah, she didn't even get it secondary. But she also has pretty good genetics, and so I think we'll go ahead and we'll try and do the same thing with her. We'll put in the ram horns, and we'll try and put in the mask for her too, and see if we can have a baby who might be more of a true healer, who will kind of fit with the traits that were associated with Ghost, who has since passed on, and with Kuro here, who's getting a little older himself. Maybe we'll bring him back over here so he can hang out with his mate Azure and kind of keep an eye on the babies. Now, I don't think there's too much left for this turn. So, let's see. I think, remember we have to name little Kirnu here. We'll have to figure out what we want to call him. And then we can let these guys get a little bit older before they continue. This line here is basically our gatherer line. It's up to them to make sure that the tribe continues to have enough food, but I did see here, the one last baby we haven't checked is Rokukir. So, Rokukir is the last baby of Tavi, and he actually looks a lot like her, doesn't he? Yeah, he has almost the same kind of patterning. His spots are a little bit more yellow, but he still looks very much like her. So he definitely took after his mother, and so did Byron for that matter. But let's make sure we destroy this nest, and then Byron gathered from here, so that was good. We'll make sure Fiery can kind of handle this area, and maybe we can have Byron step down here to better handle the coconut tree. Now, as for little Rokukir here, I think we'll go ahead and name him... What'll be a good name for him? I think I'm going to call him Brandon. Because that seems pretty fitting, and it kind of goes along with Byron's name. They're pretty similar. They're pretty similar names, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Tavi and Tay. In fact, is Tay still in our family tree? Oh no, I don't think she is. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I think Tay, honestly, they kind of remind me like they could be quite a bit similar and have a very similar bond to Tavi and Tay. So let's actually move Alex over here, and then we'll bring Lilith down here and make sure she can kind of keep an eye on these berries and learn to watch Alex gather from them, just like Fiery can. And then perhaps Byron will have to teach Brandon how to gather up these coconuts. So let's see. We'll make sure Hayden... Oh, it's Hayden's last day. Oh. Well, she can't follow the tribe's custom of gathering up the poison berries, but she can try to dig and then settle herself down to her friend Carno, who can maybe help her out there, unfortunately without success, but I think she can rest easy knowing that Carno is right by her side. These two developed quite a strong friendship over their time together, and they really were quite close to each other. Although I must confess, it has me a little bit worried because a lot of our defenders have been starting to die off. Now we still have Rome, but he's getting quite old too. And we still have Willow, who's getting older. And Raana, who's even older than Willow. And Adjure, who's also quite old. We don't really have any pure defenders at this point. Over here, Hayden is definitely one of the last. And so, if there was going to be a time for a killer bearyena to strike... I hate to say it, but there really wouldn't be a better one. And I know there really hasn't been much trouble yet in Glade's time. His father, who is named after the great hero Roku, was the last one to have to deal with a killer bearyena. But up until now, this time has been fairly peaceful. So we'll have to see. I hope that's not a sign that our luck is about to change. For now, though, I think we're going to go ahead and end off this episode here for today because it is about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.